And we are streaming. Hello everybody and welcome to Thousand Confusion for the 8th of July. How are we all doing? We have 3 people currently queued up who are the same 3 people who were here last week. Hello, Rumi, Agan, Prospero. Hope you're well. I'm just about to start the game off. Okay, so what I'm fairly certain is our 3rd match in a row with this pairings. Let's see how it goes. Also, apologies, my mic is miles away. Hopefully, I'm at least somewhat legible. Let's play ball! Okay. Okay. Enough of that nonsense. Let's play some Mahjong. So, hand's fairly decent. Obviously, we'd like to push and see if we can snag a dealer turn here. At least a dealer turn early. We can draw a 4 that gives us a potential tan. Well, Pinfu. Yeah, there's not Tanyo is consideration, but we have the pair of 9, so just connect something to this would be nice. And we're away. Other than that, just yeah, reach Pinfu, take an early dealership. Okay, not abysmal. Potentially gives us a 147. Potentially gives us an extended string of Manzi tiles. Potentially gives us some options here. Again, it's really drawing around the 3 and the 8 at the moment. And more likely to be the 3 given the options, because obviously the 8 is closer to the edge, and drawing a 9 is less helpful than drawing, you know, drawing a 2 or a 4. Still, if we get a 9 first. Okay. So, interesting. Potentially gives us 2 sequences here. So drawing a 4 still gives us our 147. I'm mostly playing that because it's suited to the 8 we played earlier. Prospero played an early 6, and it's unlikely he's on Sozu, or many Sozu. It's a weak argument, and I don't expect him to be Tenpai right now, but, you know, these things are occasionally considered. There. Of course, had we have done the thing and cut the middle tile, would have been half a step closer. Probably at this point getting rid of... Yeah, honestly 2 is probably... it's an interesting one, this. Yep, drop to sequence. Feels good when going for Pinfu to just immediately drop a sequence. Extended sequence, actually, based on that. Okay. So Prospero has not played a lot of Pinzi tiles. If he's forcing, it's a Pinzi Honitsu. Yeah, for some reason I had a strange feeling he called that. I'm actually going to play a 3-pin here. I feel 3-pin's going to be riskier to hold on to. South, we know is going to be safe. We got 2 of those played. Interesting. So that potentially opens up a 1-4 weight. Actually, is that 147? No, it's not quite 147. So that kills any chance of us discarding any more Pinzi tiles unless we know they're safe to you. How safe do you think that is? Not very, but that is it walled off. Which actually makes Pinzis around the outside of that better, in a weird sort of way, but... But yeah, that was dodgy against 2 calls. Final turn. We are Ishanten. And should have a safe tile, depending on what we actually get here. We're just going to follow it with a 4-pin. We don't need to worry about 1-4 swaps, and we already know the 4s like to be safe. Again, wall of 5s. 4s just played by Aegon. The worst Prospero can call it for a 2v4 sequence. And get himself definitely Tenpai, but we assume he is anyway. Third West. Dropping a live 6 here isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do. Well, we have one more draw left. Is this relevant? 7, 7, 7, 7. The problem is, I see all the 4s pretty much. I do see all the 4s. I see 1, 5, and I see anything above that really. 1, 7. I think 6 might be dodgy. Dora Northway for Dragon only. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that. I think reasoning was solid. Again, it feels bad to lose a few points on a draw, but we'll lose a few points on a draw and become dealer, so it's less of our problem than it is Aegon's. So let's see what happens here. We'll get rid of the non-bonus honours for the moment. 9-1 and see if we've got anything that we can build around here. Could be a push for Tanyo. In truth. Pair is useful. Dora 2. Okay. So I think now we will go for a called Tanyo. Unless we can draw a pair of either of these before we get them. Yeah, especially with that. Okay, we're technically 2 away. But Tanyo Dora 2 is absolutely fine from a dealer perspective. Fortunately, losing the 7s is a little awkward. We also have Sanchiku as a backup plan here. Well, I say backup plan, really it's just an add-on that we could potentially get. My impression is Tanpin. Or Tanyo now, I suppose, but... Okay. Could probably get the 8 over the 4-pin in truth, but... Okay, this is a little aggressive, but let's see. Green Dragon will be safe towards the end of the game. Ing's going to give us another call, which is good for him. Open card for Aegon. Probably a dodgy discard, but at this point. But at this point, we don't want to lose to a big Riichi at this point. Okay, helpful. Ishanten. Our final tile is a safe one, so that's going for us. We need to draw. We need something to drop for us, though. 4-pin 2-so, 6-so, 5-so. What's a concern? Alright, we have Tempai. So 4-6 pair weight. The big sumo! We're a bit fortunate there, but I'm not going to complain. Okay, we again have a double Dora start. 1-so. So first plan, as usual, get rid of the honor tiles, get rid of the terminals, see where we are. But we already have our dealer Mungan here, so short of ridiculous things happening, we're probably fine with most eventualities at this point. Even here, we're kind of leaning into Pinfu 2 that we're kind of building up to here. We can take this pair of 1s. We can always reach, of course. Just need to get some of these things closed off. Four, 5, 6 Sanchku is also a possibility. I'd call that. Tanya's too good for us here, really. And we don't have a Sanchku confirmed at this point. Chin on the second row. Who wants it? Rumi. Triplet 6, you say. Alright. We're giving up anything except Reach 2 here, but this is potentially Reach 2 with a 3-sided weight, so we're golden with this, I think. Yeah, firing that off early because it's going to be less of a problem for us to go around it that way. But, yeah, let's see. 7 and 4, both safe tiles there. Another 7 played. Yeah, maybe the 4-7's the awkward one here, but... Chundora. Yeah, so overall, that is a big plus on our dealer turn, so we are fine with that. We weren't that far off getting another win, though. I actually had considerations of just going Dharma Pinfu with that. But we didn't get that far, so not much point in considering it. This is another fast hand with 2 Dora. Well, probably 2 Dora. We get the 5 here, it's a little awkward. And this one, we can just push straight for Tanya if we wanted to. Hold on to the dragon for a turn longer, just because there's always the chance to draw a second, which, you know, means I don't have to be Tanya. Means I can go into a into something a little easier if I need to. Oh. Okay, ignore that. That was a stupid thing. I don't even call that a misclick. That was just fundamentally I was looking at the wrong tile. I was thinking about other things, and I discarded the Dora from my hand that I could easily have kept. Well, this has the feel of a defensive hand now. I don't have a 2, so it's all good. But yes, mistakes made. Okay, reach under the restrictions. We haven't seen any Sozu. 2-pin was safe a little while ago. It's on the vein he's got. Haibutsu into it. Good hit. I didn't have a lot to judge that on, but apparently I misjudged horribly, and that is a Mungan, and that undoes my dealer turn. Yeah, I didn't want to play one so, even though it was the default best half for us to do, because he hadn't played any. Yeah, I didn't... Yeah, I also did that. I should have probably held off and seen what my options exactly were, although I don't know... I don't necessarily what I had as a better option than that. On the vein, 2 outs. I mean, to be fair, it was the 8 he played, so obviously 5-2 is not guaranteed to be safe in that position, but you know. It's fine. We've just kept the game interesting. So the problem with this hand, in a lot of ways, is this one man. But we'll work around what we can do at the moment. White Dragon's alive, but let's force it. It's early enough that we get away with it. It's bad enough having 1 dead tile in our hands rather than 2. And again, I don't have a lot of good options defensively against this hand, so we're just going to fold in. It's unfortunate, but... defensive options are kind of limited with this one. I didn't spot Aegon risking a 5 so earlier. Very dodgy. Still. We have the Forso as our final plan, and I think actually with all the freeze gone, just trying to work this out here quickly. 5, 5, 5, just 1, no 6s. 7, 7, 7. Yeah. There's a strong likelihood. I was just trying to confirm that if he was on this, it was a Forso only weight. Which is not to say it's definitely safe, of course, but again, you're playing the maths that he's trying to make the best weight he can. And it looks as if we have survived. So draw picked up 1-4. So it was a doorway. So there was no chance of us getting around that. Gap extends. But it's still very much on. Double Dora, a little disjointed, but not the worst. Right, Dargan number 1. Also, we drew into the sequence. And we drew into the sequence. Alright, we're technically Shanta. 6-pin ideally, but 8-pin Riichi is fine as well. Well, our luck's in. Early Riichi Pinfu. Dora Dora. No Ipatsu. But we do pick up the win off of the closest. Obviously, we'd have preferred to take it off Rumi, but absolutely taking it off the player in second is fine here. And with that, we retake the lead. Alright, sitting south in South 1 with a pair of Wests. But also with 2 Dora. So obviously would love to draw a pair of Souths, but if we don't get that, this is still acceptable. Yeah, okay, let's get rid of this 2-4. So in theory, we got this sequence, we got one here. We still have to drop something, but most likely it's going to be dropping Wests at a later point, unless we get lucky enough to triplet something. Long pause on the 8-man. And it's Prospero who's eaten up all his time for that decision. So this makes this worse, but not impossible. Okay. In fact, that's all the 8's gone with Aegon just playing that, so we can probably play 9 reasonably safely. And stick with the 3-6 thing weight. In truth, we're quite a way behind here, so this is just going to be a case of, can we sneak by? That's a live red. Risks are being taken by the 2 players to my left and right. See, Forso is risky. Green is risky. What could I do here? I could play 8-pin. 8-pin seems very passive, though. Okay, let's cut this pair. Now, of course, we draw a 4-man, and I have to reevaluate again. Or we just draw another one. Another one's fine. Puts us back to where we were, weirdly, so technically we can start calling for a Tanyo. And Tanyo 3 is more than worth it in this instance, especially as we now have 2 safe tiles. Rumi deals in with Dora after the Riichi, and yep, that's why he was in. He had as many Dora as I did. Yeah, this night we might have been able to push that a little sooner, but it's probably fine. Okay. Can you? I don't know, can you? So we'll keep the possibility open, largely because, you know, we're in reasonable shape and we've got other things we can get rid of first before we have to worry about that. So 4 or 7 man, ideally. That's fine too. Pairing those up is useful, because if we do get the 8 now, I can drop the 9 instead of a pair. Okay, Rumi with a West goal. Yeah, Aegon's discards are a bit dodgy sometimes, so obviously I know 3-7 was safe to him, but obviously he discarded that off of the 6 there, so there is that question mark about it. Alright, counter reach. So, restricted hands, deal a reach. Let's go. 4-7's not a huge... Well, 7, actually. I saw the 4 in there and thought it was worse than it was, but hey. So, what's their read? I'm surprised Prospero's reads the 6-pin. Egan, Tanyo, and Dora, seems like. Possibly some other stuff as well. If anyone's worried about Egan, they might play a 4 against that. Based on my on the many, well, pre-Marzi tasks discarded, although those are towards the end, so those are more likely to be relevant for defensive forts. And in this case, it's true. If I can keep drawing norths, that's fine, though. Information denial. But drawing 4 or 7 would be quicker. 6 winners remaining. Alright, 2 more draws, 6 outs. Ah, sorry, Egan. Admittedly, mine was a short hand, but again... Oh, it's okay, Egan. You'll manage. He'll get wins. Plenty of game left. South. Alright, so this is another strong hand. Don't need to necessarily worry about this. We do have Dora Dragon, which is interesting. I don't know what we're doing with this at the moment. Technically speaking, this is the last turn for us to keep it before I think we need to get rid of it, but giving somebody Mungan here is really, really dangerous. Significantly less dangerous than doing it later, but... Okay. So I think we're just going to rotate this into Tampin. Obviously drawing an 8 now is a little unfortunate, but still. Okay, well that counterbalances that one quite nicely. Wish I'd called that, of course, but wouldn't have mattered because I wouldn't have then drawn the 7, so... Hello, Demo. How are we doing? Ishanten. Ooh, we have some carnage. There might be some more carnage, actually, because I was just thinking that with the 7s I had, actually.
Riichi.
Close reach with a Khan on the board. We'll go for it. Nice. My brother's out there, actually. So There are 2 free pins out there. The chances are this is actually already a dead weight, but you know. I'm dealer. There's a card on the board. We are reaching this.
Riichi.
I'd say that would have been a miserable Ipatsu, but alright, let's hope we survive to a draw here. Because he's almost certainly going to have a better weight than me. Oh, Aegon! Aegon! Tanyo.
Tanyo. Dora. Dora.
And some Kandora.
Mangan.
Aegon drops to 2,000. We continue building up. Alright, Aegon on the counterattack. He's doing what he's supposed to. Good. So, we need Hanneman to close this game out. Which is not impossible for us to do from here, but I think it's just going to be a case of go for Tanyo and C. Alright, we have more carnage. Aegon's in last place, you absolutely can't here. But this does help me get to Hanneman. Okay, that's a good draw. I'm actually going to go 3-man here. We might end up having to play 2-pin just to get ourselves into a thing here, but okay. There are shenanigans on the go. But we are Ishanten. 1447. Because of that, we're playing Dora. Yeah, with 2 cards on the board, I think we try and close this out if we can. And
G.
let's see, if that was a 4 instead of a 7, I might have gone for it. No, but it's good to know. Unfortunate, but we did see all the 7s. So, pair weight was always going to be a lower value dealing if it happened. And it was worth us keeping our Ishanten as dealer. There's also an argument, and that I catch myself doing this a lot, but I like justifying things as if I'd thought about it ahead of time after the fact. But sometimes I do think about the things first. It's just it does sound a lot like I try and justify it after the fact. Alright, well this is just call for Tanyo and close this game out if we can. Which very likely to do from here. What are we? Just 18k ahead. Just have to worry about a Prospero Hanneman. Aegon winning's fine for us as well, actually. mean, I wasn't trying to deal into Aegon's hand there, and still not, but you know. Him having 2 calls is not a bad thing for us by any means. Okay. It's a little expensive, but actually that is securing our victory. Especially as we technically have a double reach available here. Well, we'll see. Free pin for double reach. Oh, no double reach. Okay. Paranorths. Okay, so let's... So now if we draw a 5, we actually get ourselves into Pinfu, so we can actually go Dharma with it as well. So no real change, still the same. 5, 5, 5, 8, basically. North's actually fine for us as well, as is 6. Okay, we are under no obligation to reach this. We don't have to announce. We can just stay on our 5-8 and take the win.
ロンピンクドラ
2,000 for the cheap win, and we come home first. Ruwenge! Ruwenge? Are you seeking Ruwenge or are you announcing Ruwenge? I gave you a Mungan by virtue of, you know, a Mungan happened. Anyway, I'm going to go feed the cats in a moment. If people do want to get a game started, I'll be back in time to start commentary on it. So we have Aegon, Prospero, Rumi. Demo, you want in? He was around a little earlier, so just double checking. There he is, Demo. Alright, so I'm going to start this game off. I'll be back in a few minutes once I fed the cats. So, back then. And we're back. Alright. Let's see how long we're going to wait for this game. In fact, I have to wait no time, because that took about 5 minutes. Largely because I had to find one of my cats who had gone hiding. And I had to make sure that, of course, both of them knew the food was there and basically was in front of them, because otherwise the younger cat would have stolen all of the food, which would have been pretty abysmal. 2. But of course, you know, the mother is, the mother's a rescue cat. Technically, the son is as well, but technically the son was born after the rescue, so, you know, rescue cat by proxy. Yeah, but she's incredibly nervous. She's got better over the last year, in truth, but, you know, she still has tendencies to want to hide behind things and any kind of noise. The ice cream truck, for example, that you might have just heard in the background, probably would set her off. Unless she knew exactly what it was. Which she doesn't. Alright, anyway. Early reach, 7/7s, Prospero. Not a good reach, but it's an early reach, so you can make allowances. There's an argument to be made, though, that this could have been... You could have held off to improve this, but you are up against Demo on a rampage. But Demo is obviously going to commit to this because, you know, early reach, and he's already committed to this. Got the sumo, though, and things. Yeah, badly for Aegon. He was desperately trying to secure a win. I then, out of pity, gave him a Mungan, which in the grand scheme of things didn't matter, because it meant the game ended sooner for me, so... yeah, I picked up the early win. Alright, Rumi with Dora Dragons to start with, but let's see. We are, of course, even though we don't root for anybody here when we're just observing the game, we are rooting for Aegon. Or at least Aegon to show his 10th Dan skills. Yes. Tile efficiency might need to be... isn't one of those skills. But, you know. Oh, and is it a skill for any of us here? Prospero has another reasonably quick hand. But yeah, Ruby with Doras. Fair enough. You go procrastinate, sir. In the meantime, I'm going to observe the epic comeback. Yeah, so 6 pins a good draw. He breaks up one of his near sequences to do it, rather than breaking up the 4, but I suppose marginal upside. 3 years of procrastination. Honestly, the longer you can procrastinate and get away with it, the better. Is a general thing, anyway. Okay, so that's a better sequence for Aegon. He's now got himself pretty close to just Tarnpin, which is perfectly fine to become dealer. Still holding on to that dragon. He's left it a little late, but it's understandable in the circumstances, I think. It'd be more understandable if it was a Dora dragon, of course, but... Oh, Aegon. Okay, I can understand not wanting to get rid of a dragon in this position, but you had other options. You could have got rid of 6 pin there, you could have got rid of 8 pin. And now you just flat dropped a sequence after a call of Dora Dragons. Anyway, Rumi is still quite a way away, but obviously the Dora Dragon, you've got to assume they're Tenpai at this point. Same with though with the Dragon Triplet, so they can work around things. And are actively trying to. Okay, we're just not. There's too much to analyze with that sequence of events. That we're just not. Some might call it laziness, but you know. Okay. Let's just go back a little bit here. There's a little too much to analyze with this, so I'm just gonna go back to this position. So discuss. I was going to try and make some random justification for it, but I just couldn't in the end. Again, yeah, the call makes sense if you're going for, you know, going for an attack. It's then just breaking up your hand afterwards. The idea of revenge, sir, is to think harder and get the win. Anyway, I should probably remove this because otherwise Aegon will shout at... Kyra will shout at me again. Call for Tenpai for Rumi. I mean, having already killed sequences off in their hand under nothing, yeah, no, I get it, but... Don't play safe. Aegon goes for the last Khan. Do deny Prospero a draw. And Rumi gets the... the one-player Tenpai. Alright, Aegon, deal a turn. You have a very shiny hand. Let's see what he does with it. Loose honor gotten rid of. What are the threats? All the hands look a little sluggish. Not really. There was Dragon Dora on the table from Rumi, so I don't think 6-pin was even a bit safe, really. Actually, no, tell a lie. Obviously, Prospero discarded it, so maybe it was a little. At least to Prospero, but... Oh, that was a pawn, not a Khan, but... Aegon pawned it. He didn't Khan that. Did he Khan that? Did he Khan that? He Khaned later, but not that... And the instance that, you know, we were trying to work out the reasoning for, that was just that was the initial call on the thing for Prospero. Anyway, Aegon's hit a very rapid and very good reach. Let's see if it pans out for him. All outs are in the wall, so this is good. This is just, does Aegon have the skill to draw it? Alright, first one in Prospero's hand. Prospero looking at the possibility to breaks up around Vedora. Doesn't want to play the 6. Correct move. Aegon, no screaming internally while we're watching. At least no vocal expressions of your internal screaming. Well, I mean, you've actually got a lot of time for this in truth, because all 3 hands are slow and working around issues. Prospero is rebuilding. And isn't a million miles away from things here. The question is, will they get rid of the 4-pin or the 6-0? Which will largely depend on what tiles they draw and whether they actually decide to go for this or not, but, you know. Ooh, probably won't get rid of it now. Oh, I disagree with that. You know the East is safe. I think going for a late Toy push is... Chi Toy push is a bit suboptimal for Prospero here, because he had the sequences. Tanyo or just, you know, a completed hand was far quicker if you kept the 4 in hand, I think. It is a safe tile, but you also have the East as a safe tile, so...
Riichi.
Well, Agen does pick up the win, though. So that is clearly why he was screaming internally, because of the win here. Thus, all mysteries have been resolved. Agen's dealer repeat then. What has he got? He's got another 2-door hand. That's not the worst. Rumi up top. Dragon triplet already. Sequences. Yeah, that was just quick from Rumi. Dragon 1. I doubt it's a Honitsu push. Maybe they'll go for it. Prospero's got a way to go. Demo's hand looks actually quite rapid as well, looking at this here. So let's see. Okay, move to Ipeko. I mean, even assuming it's the Ipatsu here, Reach, Ipatsu, Pinfu, Dora 1. I mean, you'd still be positive if you dealt back into Demo here, assuming there's no ridiculous amounts of Uridura coming up. Prospero's hand's starting to get together at this point. Reach Tanyo or Reach only at the moment, looking at it. Probably. Although now he's on that 4, it's not likely going to happen that way around. Okay, so another Reach pair weight. So Reach nothing from Prospero. Which, if Agen deals into Reach nothing, then he doesn't need to be angry about that. That's absolutely acceptable. Your dealer turn, you've gone plus 11,000 points, so... As I say, you've picked up a Mungan here. You can afford to deal into a 1,000-point hand after that. That is a successful dealer turn if you've managed that as a sequence. Now, this hand might be a bit more... Ah! That might be why he's internally screaming. Okay, so triple Reach against him. I assume that was the internal... Ah! He has given a Mungan back, but he's still plus 4,000-ish for the... 3,400, yeah. It's still a good dealer turn overall, Agen, even with that. You don't fight 3 Reaches unless you're in Tenpai, and then you just take the draw. Because I think even on normal Tenho, 4 Reaches is still a draw. Tenho? Soul. Why, Wall? Why? Because the wall hates you. Agen, if you understand nothing else about Mahjong, you need to know this. The wall hates you. It always does. I think by default 4 reaches is a draw by default, but I don't know for sure. I don't know if no. I'll have to double check. Actually, I've got the rules up here. Let me just find out. Busting. Yeah, 4-player Riichi draw is enabled, so it is on in this server. Whether it's on by default or whether I just had it on, that is a valid reason to try for it, I suppose, if you think you're close enough that you can, you know, if you can do it safely to get a draw in a terrible situation like that, fine. And definitely worth considering, but, you know, usually, yeah, you do fall to 3 reaches. Even if you are the dealer. Anyway. A demo with a Dora-free hand up top, waiting on the 8-pin. Indeed. Because, as I said, annoying everybody a fewer amounts of times is better than the annoying a few people by head bump, which you know, I am an advocate for head bump, but you know, I go with what the server wanted, and the server wanted it off, despite the fact that they wanted it on last year. Oh, Tile of Death. But yeah, you have to go with a 3 for that. So Riichi Patsunomi. And we're still in a 30k game. As we enter South 1. Aegon... Aegon's hand's interesting. I don't know if it's good, but it's interesting. So it looks like it's going to be Denver versus Rumi based on just the high pies, but... Oh, Honitsu from Aegon. Surely that's Honitsu now. It might not have been initially, but he's got the way he's managed to discard and drawn for it. Yeah. Oh, you get rid of your last Manzu, Aegon. You can still pair Reese. Nobody's discarded any. Although you might panic against this. The Terra 6s is fine. That would have been where I probably might have risked the Dora if I was going to, but yeah. Ooh, tricky. You could have even kept the 7 because that would allow you to incorporate the 9, got rid of the Norths in that position, gone for West and waiting on an 8. Rumi's gone full greed. I mean, if Rumi does pull off the Chinitsu 1 here, Dealer Hanneman is probably game-winning if he can pull it off, and he's got a lot of draws to do it. He's this close on the 5th discard. He is up against 3 calls, which is the only thing against this hand at the moment, but yeah, this is Chinitsu Ipeiko if he gets the last one. Four, 5, 6. That leaves him 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Wow. Shinitsu Dora 1 up. But up against 5 calls. I mean, your hand is worth 18,000. You almost certainly have a bigger hand than the other 2 players, but it's still scary. You were just riding that roller coaster for your 5 winning tiles that are left. And he gets it. Shinitsu 1, and Rumi is probably going to clear up the game from there. Another strong hand to start with as well from him here. Yeah, I mean, Demo and Prospero were calling up a storm, and he just basically hit Shinitsu Tenpai on turn 5. If there hadn't been so many calls on the table, he could have even waited to get a Reach Shinitsu if he really wanted to. Reach Shinitsu 1. I know that he only needed 1 to get to Baiman, but he also had Ipeko, so that was Baiman, actually. If depending on what he drew to get to Tenpai, of course. But yeah, Rumi's in ascendancy at this point. 70k is the threshold for just auto win. Then I'll be free! Oh dear. So this new layout has to be viewed in 1080p then. Oh dear. Alright, another good draw for Rumi here, so that puts him a step closer. So we can call for a hopefully two-sided Tenpai. How's the challenges going on? Demo's a little way to go. Prospero's a way off. Indeed, a lot of problems can just be left to future me. Or future you in this case. Oh dear. Yeah, because somebody mentioned it in the Stars of Confusion chat a little while ago, I was looking at the Akagi DS game again, which honestly I've got to replay to a certain point to get to the Washizu matches. But I might have to do some setup shenanigans for that, because obviously the DS is not, generally speaking, designed for one 9x16 screen. At least not correctly. And obviously, it also has the hand shapes, especially for Washizu, where you can see what everybody's hand kind of is. So that's going to require a lot of manipulation of work. But I might be worth the effort at some point soon. I mean, if you want to. Whoops, I had not meant to do that, but you're not seeing anything that's too worrying. Honestly, yeah, that's probably fine. I mean, I'm never usually a fan of red textures on top of a image or a backing image, especially when the backing image looks quite nice, because based on it almost would be better to be a flat background image, weirdly, because it just gives me that sense of being a bit more, you're not hiding behind something else. But this seems fine. The UI, from a UI perspective, everything's there, and it's clear enough. And this is even just going from the thumbnail that I'm seeing here as well, actually, because I'm doing deliberately going one-on-one. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Red works, and red-white does make a lot of sense, especially because those are the, tars being used as well. It's what that is, so it's obviously keeping that theme going on. It's just, this is my own opinion. I did do media technology. Take what you want out of that. I just... How does it look without the background image? If the background image is plain. It just... Yeah, it is a nice background image, but it's distracting that it's basically there, but it's not doing anything for you at this point. So... It'd be fine if there were some details that came through in the areas where it does exist, then it would actually be serving a bit more of a purpose. There, it just looks like it's, it's there, but it's almost distracting in a sort of weird way. This is very nitpicky, Chiral, though, I will say. I'm nitpicking, but I think, honestly, it would be fine. That's just the only thing I can recommend as anything with this. The rest of it's pretty good. Not gonna lie. Anyway, I don't even know if this is... Yeah, let's actually show this off, because I've been talking about it. So this is kind of what I mean, and what I kind of mean by the sort of background image. And obviously this is the Mahjong Soul style background image as well, but, it might be better with just static thing. And yeah, of course. But no, in general, this is fine. There's not much you can do about this, but obviously it's going to be reflected. Although that's the team score, isn't it? So yeah, there's not very much you can do about this. In truth, it's always going to look slightly odd when you have horizontal plane on a 3D background, if that makes sense, because it still needs to be clear to everybody. And you don't have a lot of space to work with. These The reach might be a little obscured by this is the only thing I might say thinking about this, but it wouldn't be the end of the world of it, so... Fitting a rectangle and a rhombus, indeed. Well, anyway. My graphic design course and my multimedia degree, absolutely worthless. But, you know. But, hey, I found a partial use for it. I can critique somebody else's work even if I wasn't in the process of making it myself. Oh, dear. I did my multimedia course for the photography and for the coding. I was not at any point an artist. Sideways styles of. Yeah, that's probably fair. But again, since you're doing it as sort of an overlay to what's already on screen, the reach stick will be there. So, but I mean, you're putting the text over the top of it, actually. The points over the top, so it doesn't matter that much, I guess. Oh well, it's fine. Anyway, there's Mahjong going on that I've paid almost no attention to for the last game and a half. Demo is calling everything to try and get out of this last place hole they're in. Sure. Yeah, Demo very much in an any win will do situation here, and it just Ruby keeps getting good hand off the good hand. Right, Mahjong, indeed. Alright, Demo Tenbai, waiting on a red dragon. 1 out, 2 in the wall. Seems okay. It is, unfortunately, south only, but it's south only to become dealer right now. I think I might have stopped thinking about things a while back. But you think you're thinking, therefore you possibly are. In the immortal words of Red Dwarf. Alright, moved into the doorway. And it looks as if it's almost dead, because Prospero is definitely going to keep that. Is he debating a reach? No, he's not quite there yet. Debating the 5, so which makes sense. Alright, 10 by 3-6. Again, remind me of something that I found these a while back. I might have to actually go and look for this, but I'm not going to do it while I'm on stream. But remind me, orcs discuss philosophy at some point, because I'd love to watch some of those videos for you, just for your opinions on them. They've done quite a lot of videos, and some of them are more things from it. Okay, indeed. Yeah, remind me of that. It's worth it. Trust me. I mean, in truth, I don't even know if Agan knows anything about the 40k universe and the whole Grimdark. What, you know, it's it's still amusing. It certainly will be amusing to me anyway. The orcs do discuss Nietzsche and Socrates. They do discuss them. They have some very very thought out opinions of it. Absolutely gone too soon. I'll find the video in a moment. I'm just obviously don't want to randomly stream another video in the background and, you know, cause issues. And Rom. Yeah, Rumi's on a rampage. Yep, Mangan. Oh, Ruby's just getting good hand after good hand after good hand at the moment. What South 1 was that in a row? This is now South 1 third repeat, third bonus. So this is the fourth South 1 in a row. I mean, all you have to do is just, you know, prevent Rumi from getting another 8,800 points. All you have to do. Or just don't let him draw good hands. I mean, honestly, that's the other way to do it. Just, you know, win first. Let's see, Aegon. Aegon's in a reasonable shape to make a counterattack here. Demo absolutely needs some points. And Prospero would be just fine to hold second, I think, at the moment. And might even be the plan. Alright, Ruby's gone for this line. Allows them to incorporate Vidora, but obviously means they're going to be in a single weight for something. Unless they get fortunate and draw a pair of the free... unless they draw a pair at some point soon. So single weight on either the 4-so, 5-so, 2-man, 3-man. Aegon has everything copy and paste ready at all times. Let's be honest about this. Discussing philosophy during Mahjong arguably is discussing Mahjong. And in fact, the discussion of said philosophy that is actually us playing Mahjong, thinking about Mahjong, is in itself philosophy about Mahjong. So, yeah. I'm not copy paste anything, sir. You mean to tell me you couldn't just paste the entire HMS Pinafore on us right now? Actually, I know you could probably type that out by scratch yourself because I know what you're like, but still. Also, he has reached, so therefore, admittedly, this is Aegon 5 minutes in the future, but you know, I mean, after the overture is not that interesting. I mean, it's fine, but you know. Eventually, though, he could definitely do the whole thing from memory. I'm sure of it. Anyway, yeah, he's also reached 5 minutes ago, so 5 minutes ago he could absolutely do about whatever he wanted. Anyway, how good is your reach? I haven't even bothered checking that. 3-6 pin, not the worst. A little unfortunate everything's in people's hands, but you know. Counter reach. Counter reach 1-4 pair. Well, Rumi is Ishanten if they want to continue, but that's for dealing. So Aegon picks up a few points, and that elevates Aegon up into third with a fighting chance of second. And we finally are out of South 1. South 2. Demo really needed a much better hand than this. But let's see. The worse starting hand, the more tiles you can draw that help you out. That being said, Prosperous' hand looks better. Rumi's hand looks much, much better. Rumi actually is not that far from Senpai. The Pair of East is a little awkward because it's not doing anything in the hand, but it's still there. And Agen's hand's pretty quick as well. Yeah, this doesn't feel like Demo's game at the moment. Still, 12,000 points is not... 12,000 points you can make up. The battle for the lead is, yeah, as I said, that was pretty much done the moment Rumi started South 1, I think, and got that Hanneman, but, you know. And one row down, actually, Demo's hand doesn't look too bad. It's just, in the context of everybody else's, Agen's already there. Although he's gone for a single weight on the 9. What were your other options, actually? Your other options weren't that great, to be fair. Other than waiting a little bit, I think. Here's a howdy-do. Indeed, you said howdy-do. There was, in fact, a howdy-do. I cannot fault the logic there. Very circular. Two 9s, in fact, all 3 9s are now stuck in Demo's hand. So, unfortunately, it's a dead weight from Agen, but... which, unfortunately, is always the risk of of being in any kind of singular weight. Crossroads is not a million miles away with South and something. And Demo with his own pursuit reach now, waiting on the 6-9. Which, with all the 6s... oh, that just... unfortunate. And that reverses that thing. Okay, so Demo's dealer turn continues. And will we have a never-ending South 2? Let's find out. Demo's hand is pretty good. Tanyo attack unless they draw an early pair of the honor tiles. Rumi has Dora free. And South, so yep. Expect very rapid winners. Expect a very rapid winner somewhere here. And money's currently on Rumi to do it. Could cut the free man here if he wanted to do that. He's got a pair of... well... yeah. That makes sense. It probably means you are getting rid of the 5-pin at some point, but, you know, there's always that way you can go around it. Hasu does not a lot. Prosper has the option of carning. Has 2 draw in his hand here. So it's not too just yet, and it makes sense. He's got the 4 plus the pair of Doras and the 5 he can work with. We'll see how that develops. Ipeiko and a pair. And options again for Rumi here. Sticks with the hand as is. Oh, is that going to cause a 4-man to be played here? You have Ipeiko in 2 pairs, so you are kind of partially covered for this. Oh, triplet of the 5s. And there comes the 5-pin. Probably could call that, actually. Call that, cut the free, being a 6-man Tanya weight. Oh, no, he couldn't do that, because obviously he had the card of the 6s rather than that. Ignore me. This he could call if he wanted to. But it's leading into complicated territory quite rapidly here. Alright, 5-8. Nope, goes for 4-7. Honestly, on some level, there's ways to predict things out of certain hands. I don't know what you're necessarily referring to specifically, if you can, but usually there's either luck, happenstance, or, you know, just reasoning based on what you've discarded previously to work out what's in your hand and therefore what you could be discarding. But anyway, so bring me back up to needing a 10,000 points to basically auto end the game. It's Agen's dealer turn, so we will follow. Agen is a pretty fast and good hand here. Could go for a Sozu Chinitsu here, especially with that additional one there. I'd start purging those. Agen's hand, I think, given he's in dealer with that much of a point gap, Suanko's considering, but I'd be more inclined to go the Chinitsu route here, or at least just see how things go. Actually, honestly, yeah. Now I have no idea what I'd be going for here, but you have Sananko. Oh no, you get rid of 5-pin there if you're going to get rid of anything. 9 keeps you on the flush. The 5-pin, admittedly, 9 in a vacuum. 9-so is a better discard than 5-pin, but with the hand as it is, it's 5-pin for me. Ooh. Oh, Agen, don't tell me you're going to reach this. Don't reach this. Okay. Reach Sananko, but this is not the time to do that. This is the time you'd have Dharma'd and you'd have cut 1-2 or Dharma'd. Oh dear. If you'd have Dharma'd this, I'd have accepted this as an acceptable answer because you do have Sananko, Dora, but you've got to take your marginal upside of potentially upgrading this to the max. This hand could be the maximum. If you draw a 1-pin, 2-pin, or 5-pin at any point now, it's yeah. Yeah. Don't get us wrong. This is a good hand, but you know, if you Dharma'd this, it would have been fine. It's just going to be really sad when you draw the Suanko tile in a few moments. Actually, I haven't even checked to see whether it's possible based on discards here. 2-pin, 2-pin. Yeah. Oh, and all of them are now in people's hands. Yeah, now, given this, it was about 5 minutes ago for the mirror behind your hand, yeah, you're waiting on a 3-pin, and basic theory is that you don't play anything between 3 and 7 unless it's known, or you've got some justification for it, because most people are going to need tiles in that area, depending on what hand they build. They go into almost everything. So 3 and 7 is, by default, a danger zone. You've also only discarded one Pinsy tile all game. But yeah, no freeze anymore. Which is exactly the problem. There's only the only Pinzu tiles played is a single one pin quite late, a single 7 pin, a single 2 pin. Nobody's ever that tells you all you need to know about the current situation of things. Given other options, they will not play that. The thing is, if you'd have gone for the Suanko instead of that, you'd now been rewarded for it. But again, that's knowledge you wouldn't have had. If you'd have Dharma'd here, this still wouldn't have actually given you anything in context. But there was probably more chance of it coming out Dharma'd. Marginal, admittingly, because everybody's got uses for it. But, you know. And that is Tenpai for demo. A practically dead weight, but, you know, late in the game. Well, yeah. Oh, no, that's a 10 weight. Okay. Oh, last tile he would have had this. I mean, to be fair, last tile doesn't mean anything, but you know, he could have flexed and just shown the Tenpai if he was Dharma. Tenpai for the Yakuman chance, but hey. It's fine. You got the draw, which ultimately means you've got another chance to try and build a hand, but And to be fair, you have been rewarded with Dora 4. So okay, free say does not a lot. Just seeing how other people are looking at the moment. So Rumi's just building up to a normalish hand to try and just end this quickly. Prospero still has a way to go. Not a huge amount of value there. And of course, Demo now has a marginal point lead over Prospero for second. Yeah, it all comes down to how can Aegon finish a hand here. Because he needs to. Well, there's the reach from Prospero. It's a close reach on the 5-man. So, not the best. But what could you have done differently? I mean, there's an argument you could have held off and cut the 4-6 here, because you've got a big string of Sozi tiles. The Pinfu seems fairly simple to get once you got that, but you have already decided to do so. So actually, your progression is limited based on that. If you were to draw something, draw another 9 or a 3, then you'd have problems. But also, it just means the hand's cheap. So cheap to become dealer and to take second, which might have been the point. Okay. South 4. So Aegon needs a monster hand, and I think he's had his 2 opportunities for monster hands. North reset? No, Aegon doesn't have one. I'm always disappointed when there's not a North reset. Well, not a wins reset, but you know. It's not even optimal, but I like to see it every now and then because it confuses people. Ah, dear. So really, just looking at this functionally here, this is a case of whether Demo can finish a hand before Prospero. And they're saying GG's, so I imagine that either that's happened or somebody else has got the win instead, which, unless it's huge, is probably going to mean it's going to be that. Or discussing philosophy. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I am going to call the stream after this because I've got somebody else who's trying to message me and get my attention, so I will have to deal with them. I apologize for the short one. Next one will be longer. I'm going to make sure of it. I'm going to actually clear timetables and make sure that actually works. But yeah. I'm happy to set up a third game after this, but that is probably going to be the end of my streaming for the moment. Anyway. Shitoitsu from Prospero is currently looking reasonable. Aegon is calling everything, but isn't actually showing a Yaku at the moment. Toy Toy maybe. Indeed. You found that's the best one to start on. There are a whole series of them as discuss various people and thought processes, but yeah, that is the fun one. Cut a pair here and you're in, but this is an awkward. It's an awkward position to start cutting pairs in because either 3 or 6 are the most obvious choices here, and both of them are a little dodgy against 8 Sozu calls. Although now it's safer, but of course now you've lost the chance for it. Oh, Rumi has got Dora 4 themselves and is just looking to just, you know, close this game out on top. I mean, to be fair, they're probably going to do it anyway, but you know. Alright, Prospero Tenpai. Yeah, pretty much a have to go for it position at this stage. Aegon's technically Tenpai, but he hasn't got a winning hand at the moment. All Humies. All Humies. So Aegon does draw his winner, but can't win with it. Tenpai for demo if he can make the 7th pass. Does. Oh dear. Aegon drew 2 winners, but unfortunately no Yaku at the time. And that exact scenario means it is Demo who finishes 2nd. Good win for Rumi. And yeah, I'm going to call the stream there. Apologies for short. And as I say, next one I will make sure it's longer. Apologies for that. And yeah, I'll catch you all later. Until then.